Hello friends, I'm Elliot and this is my wife Miriam, and in this video we will take you with us to the city of Porto, Portugal. To get to Porto, we took a 2-hour train from the city of Coimbra. When we arrived in Porto, we headed straight to our Airbnb. It was the nicest Airbnb of our trip, but also the most expensive. It was close to a lot of the things we planned on seeing, but still off the beaten track, enough to feel relaxed. After we got comfortable, we headed out to find some food. About a 2-minute walk up the street, we found a great place called Intrigo Restaurant. It had delicious food and a great view. After we ate, we took a casual stroll along the river, just amazed at how beautiful this city is. All along the waterfront, there are companies who do boat tours, so we decided to try one. It's a really great way to see the city. The boat tour we took was called the Six Bridges Panoramic Cruise. The most notable bridge is the Dom Louis Bridge. It was built between 1881 and 1886. It was designed by Théophile Seyrig, a student of Gustave Eiffel. And at the time it was built, it was actually the longest arch bridge in the world. The next morning, we got up early to spend the day in the Douro Valley. We booked a tour through TripAdvisor. It included transportation, guided tours, a very good amount of wine, lunch, and a boat tour. It was well worth the cost and one of the highlights of our trip. The first stop of the day was Quinta dos Castellares, a smaller family-owned winery. They gave us a tour of their vineyards and a guided tasting of their wines, honeys, and olive oils. town of Sabrosa, we stopped at another local winery called Quinta dos Matos. There we had a 4-course lunch and another tour and wine tasting. We then got back on the bus and headed to our final stop to the town of Pinhao. Here we would have a 1-hour river cruise in a traditional Rebelo boat. After the boat, we headed back through the Douro Valley to Porto. It was a beautiful drive. After we were dropped off, we found an awesome little place for dinner, Encontro Cafe Bistro. The next morning we went to the very famous, very fancy, and a bit overpriced, Majestic Cafe. It was designed to look like a Parisian cafe in the Art Nouveau style, and was originally an exclusive and upmarket cafe that acted as a place for the elitist members of society to meet. Thankfully, things have changed, and we weren't surrounded by a bunch of snobs. After the cafe, we popped into the Church of Saint Ildefonso. The church was built in 1709, and 11,000 blue and white tiles were added to the facade in 1932. We were still a bit peckish, so we made a stop into a bar called Gazella. It's famous for their cachorrinho, a Portuguese-style hot dog. Right around the corner is the São Bento train station. With its beautiful tiled walls, it is known for being the most beautiful train station in Portugal. From there, we wandered through downtown, passing the Porto Cathedral and eventually crossing the Dom Louis Bridge. Across the river from Porto is its sister city, Vila Nova de Gaia. It's here you will find the famous port wine cellars, with wine sent down the river from the Douro Valley. We took the gondola down to the riverside. It gives some fantastic views and also gave our feet a bit of a rest. Later that evening, we wanted to try a traditional Portuguese steak sandwich, and I would highly recommend the small but popular restaurant Pregar. It was delicious. For dessert, we ventured down to the riverside to the restaurant Bacalhau. I got the absolute best rice pudding to ever exist. The next morning, we started our day with a great breakfast at a breakfast spot called My Coffee. Then started a very nice and relaxed bus tour around the city. You can see here the lineup for Livraria Lello, the bookstore rumored to have inspired the Hogwarts library in Harry Potter. We decided to skip this one. After our bus tours, we grabbed another great meal, this time at 7G Restaurant in Vila Nova de Gaia. Our last full day in Porto was pretty chill. We started the day at Picaba Natural Cafe. The restaurant was right on the ocean. When we were done, we spent a good amount of our day strolling along the beautiful walkway, popping in and out of cafes and shops. Even though the day was a bit more slow-paced, it was one of our more memorable days. It was like you could feel the joy and beauty we found in this amazing country. And with that, I want to thank you for watching this video. If you haven't already, check out our other 2 videos from Portugal. If you'd like this video, show us by clicking on the like button and consider subscribing to our channel. We are planning more videos in the future, starting with a few from our home, Nova Scotia.